Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you are having a great Monday on this long weekend here in Canada. The weather has been not too great, but could have been a lot worse for sure. Sun's trying to peek out here in Kimberley. I'm in the process of moving around my studio, doing a bit of redecorating. So excuse the bit of a mess here, but today in the 10-minute art tips, I'm going to be discussing on location painting, also known as plein air painting. This became popular at the time of the Impressionists when Claude Monet and Cézanne and Manet, all of them went out and painted on location and began taking impressions of the light and the scenes. And they would often do the same scene over and over to get the different impression of the light, therefore being known as the Impressionists. And they were the ones that began it all because before they came along, there was no way of doing it because tubes of paint didn't exist. And so prior to the Impressionists, the artists had to actually mix and grind their pigments and mix it in with linseed oil in their studio. So of course there was no way of doing that outside, outdoors, away from their studio until the invention of the actual paint tube. So that's when all this excitement began. And painting outdoors is an experience like no other. And you have to be ready for the unexpected. I've had so many amazing experiences, the good and the unexpected. There is so many things that can happen. You have to be able to handle the elements, the wind and the rain and I was painting one time up on Meechin Creek Road, and I was painting with a friend of mine who was also an oil painter, and her truck broke down halfway up this logging road. We were parked right in the middle of the road, and her truck just stopped, and she had to hike all the way back down to town. Took several hours, so I was sitting there up at the truck for 4 hours, and when she left it was sunny. Then it started raining, then it started sunshine again, then it rained again, and I wound up doing 3 paintings while I waited for somebody to come back and rescue me from being up on this logging road. Luckily, no big logging trucks came along. It all went fine, but it was quite an experience. And, you never know what's going to happen. There was another time when I was out painting at a scene nearby Kimberley called Lost Dog. And it was a beautiful autumn day, Thanksgiving weekend. And I was painting the glorious larch in its golden rays. And I backed up from my painting for a few minutes to have a look. As you know, it's best to look at oil paintings from a distance. So I backed up from my canvas and a big wind gust came and splatted my painting right into the gravel. So I picked up the wet oil painting and just let it dry as is with the gravel on the wet paint. The most amazing effects happened when the paint was dry and I was able to paint over the gravel. There was glorious texture to my paint. So this is the benefit of working outdoors. You never know what to expect. It's always like glorious nature. You are closer to nature when you're outside and you are experiencing the elements, the rain, and you get the smells, you get the sounds, you get to hear the wind rustling in the leaves. All of those experiences then wind up in your painting. It is very authentic. And when you're working on location and outside, you are also forced to work quickly. You have to work quickly. It's very important that you memorize in your scene, in your mind, the scene that's in front of you when you first pick up your paintbrush. You have to memorize it because otherwise, if you are painting away and painting strictly what is in front of you, half an hour later, the scene will be completely different. The light will have changed, the shadows will have changed, the could be cloudy and it was started out with sun. You have to remember what sparked your interest in that scene and take imprint in your mind. Take a snapshot in your mind and paint that. Do not be consistently painting what is in front of you, or you will get lost. Your painting will change 100 times during that 2 hours sitting. So it is very important that you work quick and work from your memory as well as painting what is in front of you. This is going to force you to be spontaneous, force you to work quickly, and just loosen you up. It's incredibly powerful experience. And whenever I have been in the studio for too long, painting all winter long, and then summertime hits, it makes all of my paintings better. It makes my studio paintings better because it forces me to not take things so seriously. It's incredibly important. And it also really makes you focus in on what is really important. My one mentor, Keith, I wrote about this in a recent blog post, and he stated that when I was painting with him on Vancouver Island, he was surprised that I was able to get out of the car and instantly set up my easel and just get to work, and I would just start painting what was in front of me. And he said that is the sign of a really good artist, because the other painters a lot of times would spend the first hour of the day wandering around trying to find the best scene and what was going to be the best painting, and they just kept looking and looking and looking, trying to find the absolute best rather than just painting what was there. I was on Vancouver Island. Everywhere you looked was a painting. So don't stress over finding the absolute perfect scene, because just paint. You're there to paint. You're there for the experience. You're there for the moments. You're there for the excitement, the fresh air, the joy of painting, the nature, the oneness, the stillness, the quiet. All of those things are so important. And it doesn't matter whether the scene is the best or not. It is what it is. It's going to be a good painting, or it's not going to be a good painting. There is no guarantees. I've had many on-location paintings that I've gotten home and saying that didn't work out. That is another part of the spontaneous quality of painting outdoors, is that sometimes you just don't succeed. And that has to be okay. You have to let it go. You have to be a bit free. You have to be willing to sacrifice a little bit of canvas and paint in order to create something extraordinary. And some of my on-location pieces have been the best of my career. And oftentimes, as a professional painter, my on-location pieces have been the ones that have sold right away. And part of it is that really loose feeling that they have. They really are. All those things I just described, the spontaneousness winds up in those canvases. And a lot of times people will respond to that much more than my studio paintings. Don't ask me why, but that's just how it is. Sometimes the quality of the painting is sometimes better in the studio painting, but there's nothing like that energy that comes from an on-location piece. The group of 7 were famous for doing what they called on-location sketches. They aren't actually what most of us think of when we think of the word sketch. They are actually just small little on-location oil paintings. And then they would take those small little paintings, take them back to the studio, and do a big, huge, large canvas of the same scene, using their small little oil painting sketch as reference. They turned out phenomenal, and I love to see the difference in them. If you ever get the chance to go see some of the group of 7 in person, as you know, I'm a big believer in seeing original art. And they did phenomenal paintings. And sometimes I like their on-location pieces better than their big, huge studio pieces. Other times their studio ones are better. I'm interested to see what you would think. Which ones would you prefer? And if you get out on location, tell me some of your stories. I've got more stories to tell you. One day I will. I've got lots of photos, great memories. Some of the best memories of my life happened while painting out on location. And I wish that for you as well. So tell me, keep me posted. Let me know what you're painting. Let me know where you want to go this summer. Hopefully the weather will get better soon and we'll be all out painting together outside in Mother Nature. Let me know what's going on with you. Keep me posted. And if you have anything you want me to discuss in next week's 10-minute art Monday art tips, just let me know. I'm here to answer any of your questions. Please keep me posted and have a great week. I hope you're out enjoying some nice sunny weather right now. Okay, have a good one, everyone. Stay safe. Bye for now, and I hope you enjoyed that.